Hey guys, welcome back to another storytime video. I have an interesting storytime for you guys. I'll show a little bit of video proof with this one as well. But before we get into this, everything is for educational and entertainment purposes, so don't go out and recreate anything shown in this video. I'll probably be posting this on New Year's or Christmas. So hopefully none of you guys got a vape for Christmas. I don't think you did, but hopefully none of you got a vape or anything for Christmas. But yeah, this story takes all place back in probably honestly middle school. That's the first time I ever remember hitting a vape. And today we're going to be talking about, the story of the vape saga kind of. Now, I remember back in middle school, vaping was kind of going viral. Now, this sounds horrible, but a bunch of kids in my school were vaping, and one of them was named Kevin. And rest in peace, Kevin. Honestly, he was a cool guy, and this is one of the first times I ever remember anyone vaping. And crazy enough, he actually got, everyone's seen those videos where people get hospitalized and get a permanent lung damage and a bunch of damage from vaping. But I'll post the video right here.
Yeah. Now say something. You can. That's right. You can.
I mean, yeah.
But all the air is fake.
He obviously did get, a hole in his neck, which was really unfortunate. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was from vaping. I mean, yeah, it was from vaping and smoking. He did a lot of that stuff from a young age. I mean, I'm not trying to put smut on his name. I'm just saying from what he put out there. He was a cool guy. There's nothing wrong with vaping, but when you do it at a young age and you excessively do it for long periods of time, thank God I didn't keep vaping. Like, this was my first time ever doing it, really, was back then in middle school and being around people. I can do a story time just on that. Like, my very first time ever vaping. And honestly, yeah, it was back then. I think Kevin Farmer was the very first guy to ever give me. I mean, I'm not trying to cover up his name or anything. I mean, it's kind of obvious what it is because I'm posting his content here, and if you know, you know. But yeah, he was a great guy. Rest in peace once again. He was a cool guy. But yeah, he let me hit his vape. I gave him honestly like $1 or $2 just for letting me hit it. Because I really, really wanted to hit it. He's like, nah, bro, you don't need to be hitting it. He was trying to discourage me. And I'm like, come on, I'll give you $1. I'll give you $1. He's like, all right, fine. I hit it a couple of times. I gave it back to him. I don't know why, but it tasted horrible. I honestly felt like throwing up and I was dizzy. That's the only thing I felt. And it wasn't that good, but, vapes were kind of popular back then and no one was really seeing. But at least I wanted to try something new, I guess. But yeah, that was the story time kind of me hitting the very first time of a vape. That was at the end of the day. School was about to let out. Kevin let me hit his vape. Like I showed you guys, you seen what happened to him, unfortunately, with his neck. But at least he was able to breathe and live on after, a minor surgery. Well, I wouldn't call it minor. That's kind of major, but these were back when box mods were popular. I think he had a box mod, or maybe it was one of the slim little vape sticks, one of the disposable slim ones. But as time got more and more popular, everyone know, I think it was about 2016 or 2017, Juuls started to get really popular. I hit those a little bit, but not too much. Honestly, I don't think I have any damage from all this, luckily, because I barely hit it. I know I'm making a whole story time segment about vapes and stuff like that, but I'm just being honest. I only hit it like that one time in those couple years. I didn't really hit it even in freshman year. I thought it was stupid and pointless because, it just makes you dizzy and it also does a lot of damage. It's Chinese chemicals. Like, we don't know where these chemicals came from. We don't know what these chemicals are. Why are we inhaling them? But yeah, the next time I started to get into vaping was, he wasn't around. Kevin wasn't around. Rest in peace, his soul. But he wasn't around. This was at a different high school, and people were starting to do juuling. And, school was stressful, and I was kind of sick of school, so I just wanted to do anything but go to school. And every single time I would go to the bathroom, people would be juuling or hitting carts. So, I partaked in, a little bit of both activities. But there's a lot of snitches, too. There is one guy called the Juul Snitch. I'm not going to say his real name out of respect because, I think he works for the U.S. government now. But he's a cool guy, but he did snitch on people, I'm pretty sure, for, hitting the Juul in the school bathroom. I don't think that's cool. That's snitchery. That ain't a cool guy then. That ain't Pete, Peter. I'm just joking. But anyway, let's get back to the story time. Yeah, I used to hate Juuls, stuff like that. I never really liked box mods. I mean, I guess they blow out a lot of smoke. I kind of thought that was, no offense, but a little bit retarded and gay, but not in a bad way. If you like it, you like it. It's just not my type of thing. Like, I remember people would be vaping in the school bathroom every single time the teacher would run in. Everyone would hide the vape. Like, their principal would come in. Everyone would quickly grab the vape, like, scatter around and be like, what's going on in here, guys? What's going on in here? People would be alerting. They'd be, like, whistling bird sounds and different stuff like that to let people know that, the teacher's coming or the principal's coming. And, honestly, I never really seen anyone get caught other than the snitches. And I guess they're like, oh, Jimmy, were you juuling in there? He's like, yeah. And they found his Juul on him or whatever. They made him search him. That's really how he got caught. I don't think he admitted to it. I think the school cop probably searched him. I don't remember the full story of how he got caught, but I know the dude snitched on him, and they made like a whole big deal about Juuls and tobacco products at school. I mean, it's kind of crazy that all that stuff was going viral back then, but I guess, in the 1920s, you had the cigarettes, and then in the 2010s, it kind of evolved into, like, the vaping and the box mods and the slim vapes, and now it was the Juuls, and now it's the geek bars. Everyone's smoking the geek bars in 2024. There's other kinds of nicotine vapes, I know. I'm sorry if I don't know all your fancy different Nick mods and Nick vapes, but honestly, I don't know all the names. I just know geek bars are really popular nowadays. But guys, honestly, I heard vaping is even worse than cigarette smoking. I can't 100% confirm that, but I would not be surprised because there's a lot of crazy chemicals in vaping. Cigarette smoking is really, really bad and super addictive too, so I definitely don't recommend trying either one of them. Don't vape and don't smoke cigarettes, and don't do drugs, kids. And don't drink alcohol, and if you do, don't abuse it. I know vapes can be a good thing to use for a little bit though. Maybe like if you need to get out of cigarettes, stop cigarette smoking, and you need something for a couple months, yeah, I can see that. But long term, definitely wouldn't do the vape. And like I said, you can see the guy in the video with the hole in his neck. I mean, it's not a joke to really do a lot of things. People will say I'm joking, but all those videos on the news, I thought they were fake too. I kind of do think the vaping propaganda is real, or they're saying how dangerous and it's propaganda just to get a news click title and stuff like that. Guys, it kind of is, honestly, but if you start vaping, when you're 11 or 12 years old, all the way up to your 20s, every day, hardcore, or you vape a lot like that, I mean, of course this can happen. I remember a girl I knew, she went into the school bathroom one time, and apparently this happens in both the guys' and the girls' bathrooms, because she told me she went in there, they were hitting carts, and they had Nick vapes, and she went in there, she hit a Nick vape. She thought she was fine, okay, and then she hit another vape. At first, she thought it was Nick. She hit it really hard, she said, and then the person told her it was a cart, and it was like her first time ever hitting a cart, so unfortunately, she puked. I heard from other people that they hit the cart in the school bathroom and they puked, or they got really sick. Now, this is also back during when carts had, the cut agent and the vitamin E acetate. It's just really bad for you. It makes you sick. It's not supposed to be smoked, and it can cause lung failure and other issues like that. It's really not a joke. So I don't know, maybe that's why people were puking, or maybe they were just hitting it and they're getting way too fried and way too faded. Honestly, I don't know what you guys think, but let me know. I heard of other people. And guys, I have another story time where I hit the cart and I puked. Now, I think that was just from getting way too faded, but it could be from the cutting agents and the carts as well. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know if that happens, if there's a cutting agent or something like that. I mean, I even had times where I got a headache from hitting the cart, but I don't know. Apparently getting faded can give you a headache anyway. I mean, I never really had that experience. I guess that's a side effect when I Googled it. But getting faded, honestly, I think it gets rid of the headache, if anything. The thing that definitely gives the headaches is the vapes. And what gives more a headache? When you get caught by your school teacher or someone vaping when you're not supposed to be vaping. I mean, I remember people vaping at work, people vaping at school. They're always hiding it. I don't think anyone ever got caught. I mean, I can't lie. One time I hit a couple times I hit the card out of work. I can do a whole nother story time, and I'm not gonna put a video on right now about that on here. But I could do a whole nother video about that, hitting the card at work. But that was a whole nother thing. Honestly, I think the millennials, the people that are like 30 to 40 years old, maybe a little bit younger, are the ones that smoke cigarettes a lot less than my generation, because I feel like my generation vapes a lot, and also we smoke a lot of cigarettes. Like, I got a lot of different story times of, the vape snitch. That kid got called the vape snitch for a really long time. Like, every single time people would see him, they would make fun of him. They'd call him the jewel snitch. The jewel snitch. And I remember my friends loved juuling, and unfortunately, I think in the whole country they vaped. I mean, they didn't vape. I mean, they all did vape. I said the whole country vaped, but I meant to say they banned the flavored vape. The only flavor they have nowadays is menthol of Juul, I believe. Now, let me know if I'm wrong. I think it might just be in Florida, or I don't know if it's the whole country, but as far as I know, every single flavor of Juul is banned except menthol. Now, in Europe, a lot of vapes are popular. I don't think they have the Geek Bar, but they do have a lot of other vapes, and vaping is extremely popular, as well as smoking is very popular. But I remember every single day my friends would bring their vapes to class, to school. I was like, come on, guys. I can't lie, I would be bringing the cart, they would bring the vape. And sometimes I would let them hit the cart, and they would let me hit the vape, just so I don't know why I would even want to hit the nick, honestly. I just think it was cool, it was a fad. I was kind of pressured into it, even though I'm not a kind of guy to get pressured into things. I just wanted to try it. And honestly, the vape did get you more faded with the cart. I mean, that's just science. Nicotine with gas, it does get you more faded. If you guys know, you know. I mean, that's why people like blunt wraps. It's the nicotine with the good gas inside of it. Also, I have another question for you guys. I mean, I'm sorry, I just put this in the middle of the video. But do you guys want to see, like, longer videos and stuff like that? Like 15 to 30-minute videos. I got some other vaping stories. I don't think I'm going to do that too much. I mean, I've seen other people doing stories like that all over. I want to do something a little bit different, but I thought I would give you, a few story times about that kind of stuff. And yeah, my friend almost literally died from vaping. That's crazy enough. And I don't know if you'd call it die from vaping, but it did get viral on TikTok. I remember that some of you might have even seen it on the news or something like that. I don't know, because it went pretty viral. So I have one more mini story time for you guys before I wrap up the video. It's also my friend Brian. All the time we were in 10th grade, freshman year, I believe, 10th grade or freshman year, he would always bring out his vape in class. Like, this dude also had, like, kind of one hand, but he had two hands. One of his hands was actually chopped off in a construction accident. Like, those rotating blades, one of them actually cut right through his hand. So, I can understand why he would be vaping, because the man saw his own hand hanging from a thread of his own flesh. Like, he told me he saw his hand hanging off by a flesh, by a piece of... He saw his whole hand cut off, basically, guys. He told me he had to stay calm and he didn't pass out. He said if he would have passed out or done anything like that, he would have literally died. But yeah, that dude would always bring a vape to school, and our teacher, Mr. Brown, he later became a vice principal. He told me one time he actually wants to run for the Senate of Florida, so if he ever runs, shout out Mr. Brown, you're a legend. I'm sorry my friend Brian was doing this behind your back, but my friend Brian would always bring his Juul and hit it, his box mod, his Juul, any kind of vape he would get his hands on. He would hit it very hard, blow clouds all over the place when Mr. Brown would turn around. Then he would quickly, with his hand, blow all the dust away before anyone could see. Or he would grab the vape and do a huge inhale, and Mr. Brown would turn around. He would hold in the smoke for long as possible until Mr. Brown would turn back around, and then he would blow it out into his backpack. He would mostly blow the smoke into his backpack or just blow it away, and then with his hand just move it around. But Brian was a crazy dude. That dude was also my neighbor. Shout him out. He was a legend, man. But if you want to hear more story times, or you want to hear the full story about Brian, I can tell you about it. But hit the like and subscribe button, and that's pretty much wrapping up this video, guys. Much appreciated.